What's poppin', sexies? It's your boy here, back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a look at this Garland Moon Cup. It's a different spin on the Hero Rises event, where we're all going to vote for a character from 3 houses, and the winner is going to be awarded to everybody on the house. So pretty good. I always love when they do these Hero Rises events, because everyone just gets a free premium character, which is nice. And they're doing this event here to celebrate the upcoming release of Fire Emblem 3 Hopes. So, this is like Insys' way of telling y'all to go cop that shit. But, I don't know, not everyone is into Warriors games, but a lot of people were into 3 houses, so it'll probably sell a little better than the first Warriors game. Alright, that's not really what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this actual voting gauntlet, and I can't really tell y'all who to vote for. That's going to be up to your own discretion. Just vote for your favorite character, man. Honestly, just have fun. I've actually also seen some of these wallpapers that they give out, and they're pretty dope. So, like, if you want a wallpaper of your favorites, you can feel free to vote for them and just pick up those wallpapers, because that's not a bad idea. But for the people out there that are more competitive at the game and they want a little bit more insight on which characters offer the best fodder or have the best performance when you're using them in combat, we're going to take a look at that, and I'll give you guys some recommendations on which characters I think are the better choices. Alright, so we're going to start things off with Byleth over here, the male one. This guy is a pretty good fodder pull. He has Disencounter and Ruptured Sky, which can help out a lot of units. As far as usability goes, though, he's not really one of the better ones. At least not until he gets a refine. His weapon has -1 special trigger and tempo, so it's pretty easy for him to gain access to his special attacks, but that's not really going to cut it anymore. The God Swords nowadays are just, like, running circles around this guy, so I wouldn't recommend him. Then we have the female Byleth over here. She has Fury 4, and I think she has Wrath. So she's actually a worse fodder pull than the male Byleth, but I think she's a little bit better for usage because she has slightly more speed than the male one does. So Byleth M is better as a fodder pull. Byleth F is better as a user-friendly unit, I guess you could say. Alright, then we have the Mythic Sothis. So Sothis is a mythic hero. I think she might actually be the only mythic hero on here. Let's just double check that. Yeah, it looks like she is. So basically, a unit that could help out a lot of people if they don't have a mythic hero or they want to get a merge on her to reduce lift loss on defense or score a little higher in Mjolnir's Strike, whatever you want to do. As far as fodder goes, she has Attack and Speed Solo 3, she's got Wrath 3, and then she has Time's Pulse. So, Time's Pulse is very juicy fodder. She wouldn't be a bad pull. I would totally say this Sothis is a better pick than the 2 Byleths we looked at just now. Alright, then we have the Winter Sothis, who has been power crept to high hell. This poor unit. Like, the armor creep has been so crazy lately that she's just not going to cut it until she gets a refine. And as far as fodder pull is concerned, she comes with Distant Counter and Special Fighter. We've got better variants of both now, so not really the best fodder pull. And she also has Threaten, Attack, and Res 3, I believe, which again has been power crept by the Menace skills, so honestly, the Winter Sothis is probably weaker than the Mythic Sothis here. Then we have the Halloween Rhea, Thick Mama Rhea. Let's actually bring her up, because I don't remember what her actual kit was. Alright, I believe she's Witch of Creation. Let's go ahead and make the wiki a little bit bigger here so we can get a better look. Alright, so Witch Breath grants attack up 3. Oh, basically she gains attack up 6 and inflicts attack -6 on the foe, and then she guarantees her own follow-up and blocks the enemy follow-up. So, pretty strong combat-based weapon. Comes with Iceberg, Attack Res Unity, and Dragon Wall 3, so very good fodder there. Unity skills are quite powerful. Dragon Wall is not my go-to for dragon units as far as damage reduction goes, but certainly not a bad choice. So, also stat-wise, this Rhea is really goddamn good. 39 defense, 42 res, and then with her weapon effect, she's going to be pretty tanky. So, she's a very good unit for usability. Definitely the best one we've looked at so far. And not too bad for fodder either. Alright, then we have the Edelgard from before the time skip. She's not that great. She's got attack and defense solo 3, and that's about it. So, not really recommended. All right, we have Hubert, who is also not really recommended. He has the Fox Tome and Infantry Hexblade, which nobody ever uses because it's a little bit awkward. It could have been a better skill, but I don't know, man. Like, Infantry Hexblade and also Sorcery Blade, I feel like could have been really good if they weren't as restricted as they are. Like, they only work with infantry units, and you gotta have, like, a mage within 2 spaces. It's really, really hindered by all of that, and just gaining adaptive damage, I think, could have been really good, but that's not how it is. Alright, Ferdinand's a demote pull. Nobody cares. Linhart is a 3-star as well. We got the Summer Casper here. This guy has Victor Fish. Pretty funny weapon, and then he has Bonus Doubler, but would not recommend him. He's a 4-star, very easy to pull on banners. Any of the 4-star demotes on here, I would say, probably skip. You want to go for a 5-star exclusive, and probably even a 5-star exclusive seasonal or mythic hero, because those are just the hardest units to get. Then we have the regular Bernadetta. She's got attack and speed push 4, and then lull speed and defense. So she's a very good fodder pull overall. Not too bad for offensive units to inherit skills from. We got the Winter Bernadetta. Okay, this is probably the best unit overall that we've seen, because her weapon has a very unique effect where at the start of turn 1, she inflicts chip damage on all allies, and that can lead to a lot of setups and applications. You can use Reciprocal Aid or Ardent Sacrifice and things like that to swap around HP and get to low health to trigger your danger builds. So stuff like Wings of Mercy, stuff like Desperation, etc. Those are all going to be activatable with this Bernadetta. And she is also a seasonal pull, and she has good fodder. She's got attack and speed push 4, and lull speed and res. So I would say, so far, Bernadetta is actually our best pick here. Alright, then we have the, what was it, Summer Dorothea, I believe. So she has dance, like all dancers. She has one of the cantrip skills, and I think that's about it. I don't really believe she was too good for fodder. The Pledgian Dorothea just runs circles around her. She's way better, so would not recommend this Dorothea. And we got Petra, who is not really in a good spot either. She was useful when she had the Ground Orders fodder. She was one of the only units that had it, but Ground Orders has been power crept, so unfortunately for Petra, she's going to have to stick to being the lunch lady in 3 hopes. All right, we got Dimitri up next. Pretty solid fodder. He's got Death Blow 4 and lull attack and defense, which is fine. He's not really the greatest for usability, despite being a cavalry unit, but he's okay for fodder, but we've seen better. All right, then we have Dedue, who I think is probably the best fodder unit on this entire batch. He comes with attack and defense near save, which is very good for all of your armored units. Very good for Arden specifically, who is free to play, easy to build, and would benefit so much from the fodder of Dedue. He also comes with Sturdy Stance 3, which you can use to power up the unit who you're giving the save skill to. So Dedue would be my personal pick. I'm going to vote for him, and I think he would benefit the most people overall, just giving the perfect save skill and a really good ace skill to whichever armored unit you want. All right, then we have Ash up next. I don't actually remember what fodder he has. Let's take a look. Okay, so Ash. Let's see here. What do you got for us, Ash? All right, Moonbow, Blue Dual Cavalry 4. Reinhardt is just salivating at that. And then we have Speed and Defense near trace and Joint Hone Speed. Okay, Joint Hone Speed is just like a scoring skill. All it matters is that it has the gold border, scores the highest for C skills, so good for arena score. Speed and Defense near trace, pretty good fodder pull. And also Blue Dual Cavalry. If you wanted to run Reinhardt in arena, this would let you do that. Although I will admit one thing, it only scores 180, which is not really high enough anymore. We have so many free-to-play units that score 185. We also have Winter Manuela, who scores 190. So, kind of an RIP for this guy, unless you really love Reinhardt. Alright, then we got the Summer Sylvain. He is a demote, so I think he's a skip. We have Mercedes, who's also a demote, so a skip. Okay, we have this one here. This is the Summer Mercedes, who I think is not terrible for fodder. She has speed or attack and res far trace, which is pretty good. Let's let's bring her up real quick. I forget what other skills she has. I remember her being a pretty solid fodder pull. Let's see if I'm right about that. She also has Peachy Parfait, which grants res up 5, inflicts res -5 on the foe, and then it has like a Pledgian effect that only targets res. So, I don't know. Not really the best inheritable tome there. Okay, attack and res push 4, and then attack and res far trace. So not a bad inherit for some of your range units that focus on attack and res. So like the Brave Micaiah, I think, would benefit from this stuff pretty well. Brave Micaiah, if you use her a lot, then probably good to get this one for fodder, but I wouldn't recommend her. Then we have Annette, who is pretty much just a rally bot. She has attack and speed rally plus, and then she has a ruse skill for defense and res, and then she also has... Actually, I think that's about it. She has the ruse skill and then the double rally plus. That's basically all there is to her. And she's been power crept already by Astrid, so I wouldn't really recommend Annette right now. Okay, we have the Summer Ingrid, who has Sturdy Impact, and then she also has Hardy Bearing. Pretty much the same exact fodder as Anand has. So, even though she's a seasonal 5-star, I wouldn't recommend her. We got regular Ingrid. Okay, so as far as usability is concerned, this Ingrid is really up there. So, what's good about her is that she has the Fire Sweep effect when she initiates combat, and she has more speed than the enemy. And that's good because there are currently no near-save armored units that have access to Null Sea Disrupt. So Ingrid is free to attack anybody, and if they have near-save on the team, she's going to go right through them and just attack them twice. She also has true damage built into her weapon, so she's a threat to watch out for in Aether Raids for sure. Definitely one of the better usability options in here, but as far as fodder is concerned, I don't really think she was all that crazy. It's more so her using her for usage. But one downside to her is that she's also just in the regular pool. She's not seasonal or mythic or anything, so maybe you want to focus on someone who's a little harder to get. Alright, then we got regular Claude, who's not really all that great either. His fodder is pretty similar to Bernadetta. He's got attack and speed push 4, I think, and then he also has lull speed and defense. But I don't know. I don't really recommend this guy. Okay, we have the Raphael as well. Pledgian Raphael is not a bad merge project. His stat line is pretty solid. He makes a decent far saver. He is colorless as well, but he's a 4-star demote, so probably go for someone else. We got regular Lysithea, a very power crept unit, but she does have Times Pulse fodder and also lull, speed and res, and then I can't remember what her A skill was, but I'm pretty sure it raised attack and speed, most likely. So, not a bad unit. Looking like Slurpuff from Pokemon without a nose there, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend her unless you really want Times Pulse. And if you really want Times Pulse, then vote for the Sothis instead. Alright, we have Marianne up next. She has Blue Dual Infantry 4, which, again, these Dual 4 skills I think have been power crept, so shouldn't really gain too much attention there. As far as usability goes, she's okay. I personally prefer OG Micaiah and also Guinevere a little bit more than her. They're all very similar, but I think Guinevere just takes the cake. Alright, we have regular Hilda up next. Unfortunately, not a good fodder pull, and not really good for use either until she gets a refine. Winter Hilda, pretty good merge project. Very good artwork. I love this unit so much. I have her at +10. But the problem with her is, again, she's a 4-star demote, so it's not too hard to get her. Okay, then we come to Yuri. This guy is a little controversial here, because... See, the thing about Yuri is that he is very, very powerful. By far the strongest actual unit on here. But you only need one copy of him, and his fodder isn't the greatest. He has colorless dual infantry 4, which I think isn't really worth as much. The dual 4s, like I said, aren't really that impressive. And he doesn't have a B skill, so you'd have to give him something in the B skill, like Disarm, Trap, or Special Spiral, or whatever. But he is so powerful for usage that I can imagine a lot of people trying to vote for him anyway, but I would recommend try not to do that. He is in the regular pool, and most of the people that are competitive already have their Yuri, so I would say stay away from voting for him. Alright, Balthus is a 4-star demote. Very good merge project, but I don't think you need to vote for him here. Constance is pretty solid. She reminds me a lot of the duo Byleth, where she's a flying red tome unit that has built-in null follow-up and a whole bunch of attack and speed. So you could play her similar to duo Byleth, but I think duo Byleth's just better. Alright, we have Hapi over here. Hapi's pretty good. I really like Hapi. I haven't played Ashen Wolves. I just like Hapi's design. So Hapi's not bad. She has effective against cavalry, or no, she has effective against beasts, and she has effective against dragons, and she is a nuke type of unit where she's charging specials right from the start and trying to kill the foes in one hit. But if we're comparing her to other nuke blue tome calves, I think the New Year Regan is better, and I also think that the Bride Lilina is better as well. So unfortunately for Hapi, we've just gotten better competition. But her niche with the effective against beasts and dragons is still pretty good, so she's not the worst choice. Sothis is a demote, so probably not vote for him. We got Flane, who's a very good support unit. She grants the passive damage reduction effect. So Flane's not bad, but she, like, I think most people already have her, and there are still, like, a lot of other units that can grant passive damage reduction as well, like Niffle, for example. So she's not a must by any means, but she is still very good. We got the Winter Manuela, who is a 4-star demote. In her defense, she is the highest scoring demote unit ever, scoring in the 190 bins. So she actually scores just as high as Duo Lin, which is crazy to me that they did that for a demote hero. But I wouldn't recommend going for her here, because her fodder's not the craziest, and you really just need her at plus 10 to get the most out of her, so I would stay away from that. We got Catherine up next. Catherine is... what does she have? She has Swift Sparrow 3 and then Lull Speed and Defense, I believe. And then her weapon gives her a whole bunch of attack and speed. I wouldn't really recommend Catherine, though. She doesn't really compete with the God Swords. The God Swords now are just doing way too many things. Alright, we got Shamir up next. Shamir has a Wind Sweep effect if she's faster than the foes. She's got attack and speed solo 4, and then she has null follow-up. So, not a bad fodder pull, I guess, but also... I still feel like there's better units in here, so probably stay away from Shamir. And last but not least, we got the best boy, Gatekeeper in the house. I'm going to riot if he's not in 3 hopes, because I would love to play as Gatekeeper and just mow down like 500 enemies at once. So, Gatekeeper, he is pretty solid for usage, but it's... I think the real problem with Gatekeeper is that there's never enough slots on your team to just run him. Because you want to get the most out of every single unit that you can on the team, and the problem with Gatekeeper is that he's only really doing one thing, which is support. He's not the best fighter at all. He just grants attack and speed up 5 to all your allies in a very crazy radius of effect. He has the super obstruct effect where ranged units can't pass within 2 spaces of him. And then he also blocks Wings of Mercy and jump effects. So I do see a lot of value with him. He is a very good supporter, and he's very good at doing what he does. You could toss Canto Control on him as well to really block out foes from crossing the gate. But I don't know, man. I can't really recommend him over some of these other options. So just as a very quick recap, we'll go for just my big recommendation. So I think the Sothis is a good choice. Rhea is not a bad choice for use. Winter Bernadetta, I think, is definitely up there. She's like S tier as far as possible winners. Dedue is also S tier. He should be one of the ones you consider for sure. Okay, Ingrid, she's okay. She's like probably A tier because she's not a seasonal unit, but that's the only thing. Alright, Yuri, I think you guys should probably skip her. And, or him, rather. I don't know why I said her there. But, yeah, that's basically all there is to it. I told you guys who I think the better choices are, so let me know in the comment section down below. Who are you going to be voting for in the Garland Moon Cup? And let me know if you guys are going to be picking up 3 hopes like I am. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.